Don't shop at Harbor Freight until you watch this. You probably think you're a smart shopper, that you know a bargain when you see one. But the truth is, almost everything you believe about saving money at that store is completely wrong. Every deal hides a cost, and chances are you've been paying it without even realizing it. What you're about to discover are the secrets they don't want you to know. What actually works, what fails, and how Harbor Freight quietly makes most shoppers leave frustrated, disappointed, and broke. And the first secret, the one I'm about to reveal, will make you question every single purchase you've ever made there. The illusion of savings. Most of us walk into Harbor Freight thinking we're winning. The prices are low. The sales are everywhere. Those flashy red tags scream at you, "Look at this deal. You're saving hundreds." It feels exhilarating. It feels smart. You tell yourself, "I'm savvy. I know how to stretch a dollar." For a fleeting moment, that confidence is real. You feel clever, like you've outsmarted the system. You imagine yourself as the shopper who knows better, the one who can spot a bargain from a mile away, the one who leaves the store victorious while everyone else falls for the traps. But here's where the tension begins. What looks cheap is often far more expensive than it seems. That $12 ratchet that made your heart race with excitement, it might strip, break, or fail the moment you need it most. That bargain air compressor that promised hours of smooth, uninterrupted work, it could seize up after a single project, leaving you stranded. The floor jack that seemed like a steal, it might collapse under the weight of your car, leaving you staring at a scene of frustration and danger you'll never forget. Every deal carries hidden costs, lost time, ruined projects, mounting stress, and sometimes even real physical risk. The moment that tool fails, the savings you felt vanish completely. That smart purchase suddenly becomes a bitter mistake, and it gets worse. It's not just the tools themselves, it's the way you've been conditioned to think. The store's layout, the strategic placement of items, the endless limited time offers, they all prey on your instincts. You walk in convinced you're clever, that you've found the perfect bargain, but the system is designed to make you believe cheap equals value. In reality, it's a trap, a subtle illusion engineered to keep you coming back, hoping the next deal will finally deliver. You're chasing satisfaction, but the reward keeps slipping just out of reach. Then there's the emotional toll. You begin to realize that every purchase comes with an invisible price tag. Frustration builds slowly. A half-finished project, a tool that failed at the worst possible moment. Time lost, patience tested, and confidence shaken. You start questioning yourself. Maybe you are just unlucky, maybe you don't know enough, but the truth is far more calculated than random misfortune. The system doesn't fail by accident. It works quietly, invisibly, guiding your choices and exploiting the way your brain values instant gratification over long-term reliability. The payoff? Once you recognize how many purchases quietly backfire, the illusion shatters completely. You see that Harbor Freight's low prices aren't always about helping you. They're about keeping you trapped in the cycle of hope and disappointment. The deals lure you in, but the costs are hidden in plain sight. And for most shoppers, the pattern repeats endlessly. You think you're saving money. In reality, you've invested time, energy, and trust into something that often never delivers. And what you don't yet know is even more shocking. Some of the most expensive mistakes are hiding in the tools you think are perfectly safe. The ones that seem solid, reliable, or good enough might actually be ticking time bombs for your wallet, your projects, and even your safety. The next secret will expose them all, and once you see it, there's no turning back. The hidden tiers of Harbor Freight. When most shoppers walk into Harbor Freight, they assume all tools are created equal. A wrench is a wrench. A drill is a drill. If it fits the price, it must be good enough, right? That assumption feels logical, almost comforting. You think, I know what I'm doing, I see a deal, I take it. But that's the misconception, one that nearly every bargain hunter falls for. The truth is far more complicated and far more dangerous for your wallet and your projects. You might believe that simply looking at the price tag guarantees a smart decision. You're not, and that's where most people get trapped, over and over again. The reality is that Harbor Freight tools exist in hidden tiers, each designed for a different kind of buyer. And understanding these tiers is the difference between tools that get the job done and tools that leave you frustrated, broke, and questioning your own judgment. First, there's the disposable tier. These tools look solid on the shelf, shiny and new, but they are engineered to fail quickly. snap a wrench under pressure, see a socket strip after just a few uses. These are the traps. They're cheap to make, cheap to buy, and cheap to replace. And the store counts on the fact that most shoppers never suspect they're disposable. They bank on the frustration, knowing you'll return or buy another long before you realize the pattern. It's not just poor design, it's calculated impermanence. Then comes the mid-tier, tools that might last through a few projects if you're careful, but never without compromise. At first, they feel sturdy, professional, and heavy. They give the illusion of reliability, but their weaknesses reveal themselves at the worst possible moment. A drill chuck that jams mid-job, a hydraulic jack that slips unexpectedly, a saw blade that dulls far too quickly. You tell yourself, it's not bad, I can work with this. But frustration and wasted time accumulate silently, like a slow leak, quietly eroding the satisfaction you thought came with saving a few dollars. And finally, there's the professional tier. These are the rare gems tools that genuinely rival top brand equipment. They can handle serious work, complex projects, and last for years. They are dependable. They inspire confidence. But finding them is like searching for a needle in a haystack. They're scattered, often unmarked, and the untrained shopper never notices them amidst the sea of flashy discounts, red tags, and constant temptation. Unless you know exactly what to look for, you'll pass right by them, assuming the mid-tier is the best the store has to offer. The tension is almost unbearable because most shoppers never realize these tiers exist. They pick up a tool, convinced it will last, only to have it fail mid-use. Suddenly, that bargain transforms into an expensive lesson in frustration and lost time. And the worst part? Harbor Freight's store layout, marketing, and pricing strategies subtly guide you toward the lower tiers, keeping the real gems hidden. Every aisle, every shelf, every promotion is designed to make you feel like a winner, while quietly steering you toward tools that will fail and need replacement. The payoff comes when you finally understand the system. Price alone means nothing without context. $100 spent on a carefully chosen mid-tier tool can outperform 5 cheap disposables that break over and over again. Once you recognize the hidden tiers, you start shopping like a professional, not a bargain hunter. You begin to see the traps before you touch them, and you learn exactly where to invest your money for real, lasting results. The illusion of savings shatters, replaced with strategy, confidence, and control. You are no longer being played. You are playing the game on your own terms. If this is the kind of insider knowledge you've been craving, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because the next chapter reveals the final shock, the truth that will completely change how you view every visit to Harbor Freight, and you do not want to miss it. And the next secret will shock you even more, because some of the tools you trust most, the ones you reach for without a second thought, are actually the absolute worst offenders. They're the silent saboteurs, waiting to betray your confidence and your projects when you least expect it. The tools you should never touch. By now, you might think you've learned enough to shop smarter, you've uncovered the hidden tiers seen through the disposable traps, and started to understand the compromises of the mid-tier tools. You feel like you're finally in control. But here's where most shoppers stumble into the ultimate trap. The tools they believe are safe are often the absolute worst offenders. These are the ones you reach for without a second thought. The drill that sits innocently in the corner of the aisle, the torque wrench tucked away on a lower shelf, the air compressor that promises hours of uninterrupted work. They look reliable, they look professional, they feel solid in your hands. And that is exactly why so many people are blindsided. You trust what feels familiar. And that trust is precisely what Harbor Freight exploits. The tension is brutal. You pick up a tool, certain it will last, you bring it home, set it up, start your project, and then the nightmare begins. Maybe it snaps under pressure, jams at the worst possible moment, or refuses to work at all. Suddenly, your confidence crumbles, your project stalls, your money feels wasted, your time feels stolen, and your faith in your own instincts is shaken. You start questioning yourself. How could I have been so sure? How could I have been so wrong? And the stakes are higher than just frustration. Some of these safe tools are outright dangerous. A cheap hydraulic jack can collapse under weight, sending a car crashing down. A power tool built on corners and compromises can overheat, spark, or cause serious injury. Even hand tools, seemingly harmless, can snap with a sudden, terrifying twist. Most shoppers remain blissfully unaware because there are no warnings, no disclaimers, no subtle hints, because Harbor Freight counts on your ignorance. Every failure, every minor accident, every frustration is part of the system. It keeps you coming back, either to replace what broke or to reach for the next upgrade that they've subtly guided you toward. And here's the cruel irony. The tools you reach for the most, the ones you assume are safe because of their familiarity or because they feel sturdy, are often the worst culprits. Your trust becomes their leverage. It's psychological. You think you're in control, but in reality, you're walking a carefully laid path designed to frustrate, to drain your wallet, and to keep you coming back for more. The very tools you think will save you money are quietly setting you up for repeated failures. The payoff, however, is liberating. Once you know which tools to avoid at all costs, you gain real power. You begin to notice the warning signs, the suspiciously low price, the cheap weight, the inconsistent feel in your hands, and you stop falling for the traps that have ruined countless projects and drained countless wallets. Shopping transforms from guesswork to strategy. You protect your time, your money, and your sanity. You stop being a victim of the illusion and start making choices based on insight, not impulse. And the next secret will blow your mind even further, because it's not just the tools themselves that are failing you. The entire system, from flashy coupons to clever marketing, has been engineered to quietly drain your wallet while keeping you convinced that you're getting the deal of a lifetime. The coupons, marketing, and tricks that keep you spending. By now, you've uncovered the hidden tiers, learned about the disposable traps, and seen which tools are secretly dangerous. But the real secret is far more insidious. It's not just the tools themselves, it's the entire system, meticulously designed to keep you spending while making you feel brilliant. Every coupon, every limited time offer, every flashy, bold sale is crafted to provoke an emotional response. You think you're getting the deal of a lifetime. You feel clever. You feel like a master shopper. But in reality, you're dancing to a rhythm they control, and the music is designed to drain your wallet. The tension begins the very moment you step through the doors. Your eyes are immediately drawn to bright red tags screaming, "Save big today," to towering stacks of buy one, get one items, to aisles flooded with seasonal promotions. Your instincts scream urgency. You feel excitement, you feel confident. You tell yourself, I'm getting this for a steal, I'm saving money, but here's the hidden truth. Harbor Freight knows exactly what they're doing. They know that shoppers hate missing out. That fear, the deep, gut-level dread of loss, is hardwired into your brain, and it pushes you to buy more than you need, often things you don't even want, and sometimes don't even need. Then there's the subtle, almost invisible trap, the coupons. On the surface, they seem harmless. 20% off this, $10 off that, a $4.99 special that makes your heart skip a beat. You think, I'm smart, I'm saving money. But look closer. These so-called deals often target mid-tier or disposable tools, the ones likely to fail after a few uses, the ones that will slowly chip away at your time, your patience, and your wallet. You leave the store feeling triumphant, like a bargain-hunting hero. But later, when your tools break, when your projects stall, when frustration mounts, you realize the victory was an illusion. You were played, you were nudged, you were manipulated. The psychological manipulation doesn't end there. Seasonal sales, bulk promotions, while supplies last, offers all reinforce the same idea. Spend now, save later. You exit the store feeling victorious. You tell yourself, I'm smart, I beat the system. But step back and review your purchases. And the truth is clear. The system is rigged. Every bright red tag, every coupon, every strategic placement of items whispers, yes, buy this. You're clever, you're winning. And you believe it because the store has trained you to. The payoff is striking. Once you recognize the system for what it really is, the game changes completely. You stop chasing coupons, you stop blindly filling your cart, you stop letting glossy signs and clever marketing dictate your decisions. Instead, you shop with strategy, foresight, and control. You begin evaluating purchases based on durability, real value, and the hidden tiers you now understand, not on the manipulations designed to keep you trapped. That is power. That is freedom. That is insight. Harbor Freight never wants you to have. The next secret will finally expose why most shoppers never escape this cycle, no matter how smart they think they are. And it's the one thing Harbor Freight hopes you'll never discover: the hidden payoff. By now, you've seen the tiers, uncovered the disposable traps, and navigated the psychological tricks that Harbor Freight uses to keep you spending. But the hardest truth is still ahead, the one they don't want you to know. This is the system laid bare, stripped of all distraction, the hidden engine that drives every sale, every coupon, every bargain in the store. Once you see it clearly, there's no going back. Every visit, every purchase, every great deal suddenly looks completely different, and the illusion you've been operating under begins to crumble. The setup is deceptively simple, almost elegant in its design. Harbor Freight isn't just a store, it's a carefully engineered cycle of expectation and disappointment. The cheap, entry-level tools lure you in with low prices and the thrill of scoring a deal. The mid-tier items tempt you with just enough quality to feel professional, but rarely enough to last through the projects that matter most. And then there are the rare high-end tools, scattered like jewels, just enough to give hope that maybe this time you've won. Maybe this time the cycle will break. The tension grows because the system works invisibly. Most shoppers never notice it, never question it, and certainly never break free. Look closer and you'll see the system's layers. It's not just about products, it's about psychology. Bright red sale tags trigger urgency. End-of-aisle displays catch your eye while you're distracted. Seasonal promotions make you feel like you must buy now or forever lose the opportunity. Even loyalty programs, coupons, and reward points are carefully calibrated to keep you returning, believing you're getting something extra. The store has studied how shoppers think, how they react to scarcity and perceived value, and it exploits that knowledge relentlessly. Every bright tag, every limited-time offer, every strategically placed stack is a small, invisible push toward more spending. The failures are predictable too. Tools break at moments when you rely on them most. A ratchet snaps mid-repair, a jack slips when lifting your car, a drill jams mid-project. You tell yourself it's bad luck, but it's not. These failures are the silent engine that drives the system, ensuring you return frustrated and convinced you need a replacement. And here's the kicker. Even the occasional high-quality tool is used strategically to lull you into a false sense of security, so you keep shopping the lower-quality tiers. But the payoff lies in your realization. Once you understand the system, the rules of the game change completely. Knowledge becomes power. You begin to see which tools are truly worth buying, which deals are traps, and which mid-tier items are actually better avoided entirely. You learn to ignore flashy signage, resist the emotional pull of coupons, and evaluate purchases based on durability, functionality, and long-term value. You no longer chase the illusion of a deal, you chase results. And there's a psychological bonus to this insight. Awareness removes fear. No longer are you anxious about missing a sale or buying too late. No longer do you second-guess your instincts with every tool you pick up. Shopping becomes deliberate, confident, and strategic. Every dollar spent now has a purpose. Every tool has a lifespan you can trust. And every project is less likely to be ruined by cheap equipment. The store's control over your impulses diminishes with each insight you gain. The liberation is cinematic. What once felt clever now feels reckless. What once felt like a smart, savvy purchase now feels like manipulation. And that clarity, that brutal, eye-opening truth, is worth more than any discount could ever offer. You finally understand that the real cost of Harbor Freight isn't just money, it's time, energy, frustration, and repeated disappointment. Every tool that fails, every project delayed, every coupon that seems great in the moment carries a hidden price tag that most shoppers never see. Here's the final empowering point. The power isn't in blaming the store, it's in what you do next. You leave armed with insight, ready to make smarter decisions, ready to break the cycle, ready to shop with real confidence. The knowledge transforms frustration into empowerment, manipulation into strategy, and wasted time into deliberate action. You've seen the system. You now hold the key to defeating it. You are no longer a victim of clever marketing or low-quality tools. You are a strategist, a shopper with the kind of insight most people will never gain. If this truth has opened your eyes even a little, hit that like button and subscribe, because there's more hidden knowledge to come, and every insight you gain is another tool to keep Harbor Freight from quietly shaping your spending habits. Stay sharp, because the next video will take you even deeper into the secrets these stores hope you'll never discover.